Now, for example, we can use database checkpoint to check the contents of a database containing flight information for our website. So we'll see how. So this is my QTP application. One thing you will note about database checkpoint is we don't need to click on record button in order to insert it. We can directly insert. This is the only option which is apart from XML checkpoint which has to be covered. Apart from XML checkpoint, database checkpoint is the only option which is enabled, so doesn't need any recording. So we'll click on specify SQL statement manually. Click on next, connection string. Now here the connection string is okay, so we'll click on create button and then we'll select the machine data source. Now if you see, you can select this option. This is the data source name for our flight application, and you click on OK button. So connection string automatically appears, and then once the connection with the database has been made, we have to just write the SQL statement in order to retrieve certain values. Now if for this you need to have a basic understanding about SQL statement. You must have read it before, or you must have seen it somewhere in your database training. This SQL statement is a must. So we'll just write a simple statement which will help us to retrieve certain values from the table. Databases, you can consider database like a set of tables, and you just need to know the table names and the column names in order to retrieve certain value from the database. So I'll write a simple code. Select star count from from orders. I'll click on finish button and I can see something. Some values has been retrieved. Now what is count? Select star from count. Okay, I use this statement, select count star from orders. So I know that orders is a table in my flight application database, and from orders I'm selecting all the data. Star means I'm selecting. Okay, I'll just show you the basic code. Select star from orders is retrieving the entire table. That is, and the table name is orders. Now suppose I want to count how many rows are there in my table order. So I'll do count in bracket star from orders asterisk. So what this will do is it will count the number of rows in my orders table, and this is what I retrieved. I have 10 rows in my orders table. So in this way we can retrieve different values from the database using SQL query. And now once we retrieve the value, we can use this value. We can set this as our expected value, and then we can compare it with the actual value which is achieved when the QTP runs over the application. Now suppose the expected number of rows in my orders table is 10, and a new row has been added, a new order has been added, which is what I don't want. So I can just add this checkpoint, and if there's any change in the number, whether the new row is added or the rows are deleted, the checkpoint will show will throw a fail message, and we'll come to know that the total number of orders are not 10 and it has changed. And the result will also show the actual value, the actual number of rows in my orders table. Now, like other checkpoints, or I would say like table checkpoint in particular, we have 3 tabs. The expected data, it's a constant parameter, we have not yet started with it, so I'll be explaining it later on. Constant, you can change the expected value as per your requirement. In the settings tab, exact match, ignore space, all this we have seen already in table checkpoint, so I won't be going into details. And cell identification by position and by row number. So as I said, you can imagine database as a set of different tables, and like table checkpoint, we also have similar settings in database checkpoint, in which using which we can manipulate our we can change the settings of our expected value. And you'll see the database checkpoint has been added. So after database checkpoint, we have accessibility checkpoint, which is it identifies areas of a website to check for section 508 compliance. Now basically accessibility checkpoint won't be used. It doesn't come in functional testing, and it normally won't be used, so I won't get into it. And XML checkpoint also is normally not used. It checks the data content of XML documents. Like XML, if you know, there are flat files like XML files, so those files can be you can check the contents of the XML files using XML checkpoint. Okay, before moving forward, I forgot to mention about the alternate scripting way for a database checkpoint. Instead of database checkpoint, what is the script? How script can handle this this scenario? I won't be showing this because this time we won't be using the regular runtime properties in order to verify the expected value with the actual values. Because in database checkpoint we have to create an object, and using that object we have to access the database, and we have to create an object using the script. Now creating object using script will be discussed further in descriptive programming, which are in further chapters, and I won't be discussing now because it will be confusing. So for now, I think we have covered everything in checkpoints, and you should be, by now, if you are practicing with me, along with me, you should be pretty much comfortable about adding checkpoints, since it's a very important topic, and as a tester, checkpoint is very important in a tester's life.